Good morning, all you YouTube coin people. I'm going to try to make a little video here about the location of mint marks on coins and tell you a little something that you might not know about those. I have seen several videos on here about people talking about mint mark locations, and they were puzzled a little bit about them. So I figured I would go ahead and make this little video. I've been collecting coins and selling a few coins for quite a number of years, and it's a fascinating hobby, and I really enjoy it. So let me talk a little bit about the mint mark location on coins and also the positioning. A location is either on the obverse or the reverse, and that's either the front or the back of the coin. It's generally on most coins on the reverse. The obverse location is usually right under the date. It's always been under the date on the Lincoln penny, and it's always been on the front of the coin, or the obverse of the coin. The reverse location has varied over the years. Been on the bottom, on the top, and on the bottom lower left. The bottom is generally the most common position for it, or the bottom lower left. Some coins you do find it on the top. Positioning varies. Each die is hand stamped with the mint mark. Now notice that is each die, that is not each coin. Since each die is hand stamped with a mint mark, that hand stamping is not machine located, so it varies quite a bit. The mint has stated, and collectors have stated, that there can be some variation in exactly where that mint mark is located, within reason, of course. And just because it's located quite close to the date or quite far away from the date does not mean that you have an error coin. Possibly, if you get a really serious bad location of the mint mark, then you could have an error coin. So let me go on here to the next slide, and we'll talk about that. This is from Wikipedia, and it says, with the exception of a brief period in 1838 and 1839, all coins minted at U.S. branch mints prior to 1909 displayed that branch mint mark on their reverse. Now, all the Philadelphia Mint is the main mint, and all the other mints are called branch mints. Larger denominations of gold and silver coins were labeled with the Dalgonia, Charlotte, and New Orleans mint mark, D, C, and O respectively, on the obverse, just above the dates in those 2 years. Carson City, which served as a U.S. branch mint from 1870 to 1893, produced coins with a CC mint mark. The Manila Mint is the only U.S. overseas mint, and it produces coins for the Philippines, of course. It uses an M mint mark, and that was from 1920 to 1941. The U.S. Mint and some of the branch mints probably also mint coins for other countries and places. If a country is real small, they really can't afford to operate a mint. So the U.S. Mint may indeed print some coins for those other countries, as also some private mints. There are some private non-governmental mints in the U.S. Go on to the next view graph here, and it talks about those things. You go back here one, okay, and going forward, this is a wartime nickel, and as you can see, the mint mark was above the dome there of Monticello. That's a P mint mark, Philadelphia mint mark, which is unusual because generally coins that were minted at the Philadelphia mint were not mint marked. I blew that up a little bit so you can see it real easily, and that is unusual because, like I said, the Philadelphia mint mark normally did not mint mark their coins. Starting here very recently, I believe in 2017, the Philadelphia mint mark is now mint marking their pennies. Step on over to the next view graph here. The penny, I was just talking about that, unlike all other coins, has which all other coins had their mint marks on the reverse until 1964. The Lincoln penny has always had its mint mark on the obverse, that's the front of the coin, below the date to the right of the Lincoln burst, since its introduction in 1909. Lincoln coin, of course, has been in production for over 100 years, and that's one of the few coins, if not the only coin, that has been in production for that long period of a time. Step on over here, and what I'm going to talk about here is, and I'm going to blow this up a little bit. And what I want to talk about is the location of this. You can see right here, this, where I got the little cursor going around and around on this mint mark. You can see where it's located there. Now this location can jump around. It could be like over in here a little bit. It can be somewhat further down here. It could be over here a little bit more, or it could be, I think it's about as far up as it's going to go. I have seen them where they're almost touching the numbers. This one here appears to be above the level of the 9. But there's quite a lot of variations on these mint marks. Also, you'll find the S mint mark here, it can be flipped. And there are several coin eras where the S mint mark has been flipped. If you flip an S mint mark, it looks just like an S. But the way the mint mark is designed, like down here and also up here, you can actually tell it's been flipped. And this is a 1970 large date mint mark S cent. And I got this off the internet and just copied it over so I could talk about the location of those mint marks. So just because you get a mint mark that's located like down here quite a ways, or maybe it's a little tilted, or maybe it's up here almost laying on the letter, or out here someplace, does not mean you have a mint era. It might, depending on the location. You'd really have to send it in and have one of the coin certification companies certified as an era. But generally, there's a lot of latitude in where these mint marks are stamped. Like I said, they're hand stamped. They're not located with any precision by any sort of machine or anything like that. So there is some variation on where they're stamped. And they're stamped on the die, not on each coin, on each operating die. And the die itself can punch up to like 10,000 to 100,000 coins before it's replaced due to it becoming worn out or broken or whatever. So you can actually take and use these mint mark locations to identify the coin die that was used. For example, a single date for a penny at a certain mint mark, they may have produced like 1,000 or let's say 1,000,000 or a couple million pennies. Well, if they can use a die for 100,000 pennies before it wears out, then it's understandable that they've used 20 dies if there's 2 million of those that were produced at that mint. So you'll have 20 different dies that were used, and you can identify those by precisely measuring where the mint mark is located. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about coin mint marks. I hope this has been helpful to you. This has been puzzling to me in the past, and I wanted to do a little video on it. And I'm going to be putting some more videos on here about coins. So you folks don't forget to subscribe. And when any of my videos are posted on YouTube, you'll be notified of them. I put some videos also on some other things on here, but you know, if those show up on your news, on your feed where you're notified about those, if you're not interested in them, just don't take a look at them. But the coins, you know, if you're interested in that, you can take a look at that. Anyway, thanks a lot. I hope this has been helpful to some of you, and I will be putting more videos on here. Thanks a lot, and please subscribe.